Dead breeze, we rap this shit. Where they pull them weapons quick and snitches be the death of it. Do you hear them? Here they come. Liquors balling out the slums. Here to tell you where I'm from.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Brock Brown. The ODTV, we talking boxing again. Wonderful news. You know, everybody heard by now Joshua and Fury have agreed to terms financially, as Eddie Hearn put it. I seen Bob Arum said that it would be 50-50 the first fight, and then the second fight 60-40 for the winner, which I also believe is a great idea. It's just the way it should be. This is like, I'm not trying to get too excited. We still got to see everything that happens with Fury and Wilder and Joshua and Pulev. We got to see what happens with those two fights. And like I said, I expect both guys to make it out. I expect Joshua to knock out Pulev. I expect Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder one way or another. Whether he wins on the card or he knocks Wilder out, it doesn't really matter to me at this point because he's beat Wilder both ways already. And if both guys are successful, we get the big one. We get Undisputed. We get Fury versus Joshua. I'm almost sure that it's going to be somewhere other than the UK because of all the offers they're getting from other places. But yeah, this is good for boxing, especially having something like this right before it comes back and really starts getting jumping and everything. Yeah, again, when people are about what they say they're about, when people really want it, when dudes want to see what it's like at the top, or at least try to get to the top, you see what you see here. This was not hard. There was no drawing out back and forth. This got done before they could even fight each other. And the reason I'm saying it got done is because we're talking about the financials. That's the biggest part. The money is the biggest part to the fighters, to the promoters, to the networks. As the fans, we got a different interest, but we spend money to see it. So at the same time, the money is the biggest part. And if they have agreed to the financials, then you could say the deal is like 60%, 75% done. They just got to hold up their end of the bargain with the people in front of them right now. Yeah, I'm excited. That's good news. I feel as though that's great news. I'm not going to hoop and holler and jump about it until it's time, until both of those, Wilder and Pulev, is off the board. And then we can get into being hype and being happy and knowing that we actually going to get an undisputed fight. It's heavyweight division. Anything can happen. But I'm going to keep this short, but I'm going to touch on a couple other things. Obviously, Frank Warren has no power. Because just the fact, like I said, Tyson Fury is the talent. Tyson Fury, they both work for Tyson Fury ultimately. But Bob Arum is promoting and managing Tyson Fury. Frank Warren doesn't have a fucking clue. You put out there about what Eddie Hearn said was bullshit, and then Bob Arum confirms it. Frank Warren is not in the loop. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like Frank Warren is just not in the loop. He's trying to be coy and show some class. Let's wait until after the Wilder fight, then we'll publicly talk about it. And I know that he wouldn't have went out there and said what he said about, oh, that's bullshit, Eddie Hearn, that's rubbish and all that, if he knew Bob Arum was going to co-sign what Eddie Hearn had said for the most part. And yeah, I just think Frank Warren is really out of the loop, man. He has no power on Team Fury. Another thing I wanted to talk about, Charles Martin. Charles Martin, I'm gonna make this quick as well. Charles Martin, shut the fuck up, please. You just shut up. I'm not even gonna run it down on you, but A, Joshua already knocked you the fuck out and took the belt from you. That's A, Charles Martin. B, you talking about trying to force some sanctioning body to strip Joshua of a belt. Man, if you don't shut up, he never said he wasn't going to fight Pulev. You seen that he secured the bag. You seen that he building for the future. And here you come off to the fucking left hating. Here you come to the left hating, cuz. Another motherfucker like you. You dudes make us look bad. I already put Wilder out there, but you trying to take the sucker route too. You want them to strip Joshua and give Pulev the belt and then you fight Pulev? You're a fucking clown, man. Cold clown. Charles Martin is a lame. I used to think Charles Martin was decent. I used to think he was an alright fighter, yo. He is a clown all the way around the board. I'm done with that. Dillian Whyte. This is the potatoes. This right here is the issue in the heavyweight division right now. Honestly. Because everybody got two different sides of it. But whether you like Dillian Whyte or not, whether you don't want him to get a title shot because you don't like him, or whether you want to lobby for him to get a title shot because you love him, all that's irrelevant to me. Let's go over the facts. Let's go over the facts. Has the WBC done Dillian Whyte wrong? Yes. Yes. Did Deontay Wilder, in collusion with the WBC, do Dillian Whyte wrong? Yes. Absolutely. 100% facts. This is the truth. This is what happened. Should Tyson Fury be allowed to fight AJ if he beats Wilder and not give Whyte a title shot? Yes. Absolutely. You do not stop progress. And irregardless of what anybody is talking about, irregardless of that, a unification trumps a mandatory. A unification trumps a mandatory. Not to mention it being undisputed, but in the paperwork, it don't have nothing to say about undisputed. Any unification. If Fury had one belt and Joshua has one belt, a unification trumps a mandatory. This is why Deontay Wilder shouldn't have been able to get away with the fuck he got away with, because he was picking and choosing who he fought. And some of these people were not mandatory. They made Tyson Fury mandatory. They made Dominic Breazeale mandatory. The point that I'm making to you is, if Deontay Wilder was going to fight Joseph Parker, and Joseph Parker said, you know what, fuck AJ's money, I'm going to take less money because I think I got a better chance at beating Wilder, then anybody who Wilder was supposed to fight that's not contractually obligated has to wait. They have to wait because the unification trumps the mandatory. The situation at hand, Wilder has a contract. Pulev has a contract to fight Joshua. These are contractually obligated fights. Not fighting them would be a breach of contract, Charles Martin. He's going to fight Pulev. Fury is going to fight Wilder. For Dillian Whyte to slip in before the unification, Eddie Hearn's going to say no, because putting AJ in another fight against anybody, putting Anthony Joshua in another fight, seeing how Joshua continues to fight top 10 guys, is risky when the bag is right there. Same thing for Fury. That goes both ways. Taking another fight like Dillian Whyte, as dangerous as he could be, would be idiotic. Dillian Whyte is sour, and he wants Tyson Fury to do him a favor because he knows how he's been mistreated by the WBC. But understand something. Tyson Fury did exactly what what Dillian Whyte was trying to do. Tyson Fury secured Deontay Wilder's belt. It's cause and effect, people. Dillian Whyte was barking up Deontay Wilder's tree because he wanted that belt. He already lost to AJ. So fighting Anthony or Joshua again, he would be getting 30%, less than 40% of the pot. Guarantee it. He would be getting less than 40% of the pot. I guarantee you this. If he gets Wilder's belt, then he can go in there and ask for 50-50 because now he has something AJ clearly wants. Now, Tyson Fury came in, he fast-tracked his way because Wilder needed Tyson Fury's name to make money. This is cause and effect, Dillian Whyte. This is not Tyson Fury's fault. This is not Anthony Joshua's fault. This is not Eddie Hearn's fault. It's not. It's all cause and effect. I'll say it again. Dillian Whyte wanted the belt so he can get 50-50 with Joshua. Tyson Fury came in and fast-tracked himself to that same process. How was Tyson Fury able to fast-track himself to that same process? Well, Deontay Wilder was cherry-picking and thought he could get a name like Tyson Fury on his belt while Tyson Fury was cold. He was wrong. He lost on points because it was his house, his judges. Remember, that first promotion was not a co-promotion. That first promotion? No, was the first one top ranked too? I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I thought the first one was PBC. Yeah, I thought that maybe it was a co-promotion. I'm not sure. My point is this. The first time, Wilder was the A side. At least in Wilder's mind, at least the way they pitched it to Fury. Now, yes, Wilder did think he was going to be able to get a cold Fury in the ring and Tyson Fury's name on his resume. Tyson Fury said, Deontay Wilder can't box. I'm going to whoop his ass at 50% of what I usually am. So it was a little bit of his ego. But you're supposed to come in, and if you're offered a chance like that to get right back in the light, why wouldn't you take it? So this is cause and effect. This is how these pieces fell into place. They did not manipulate these pieces into place. Eddie Hearn did not move chess pieces around on the PBC and top rank side of things to squeeze Dillian Whyte out. They did that. So blaming Eddie Hearn for it is ridiculous. Eddie Hearn is, listen, if you were Anthony Joshua's promoter and you had the #1 grossing boxer in boxing, and then you got Tyson Fury, who's the #2 grossing heavyweight, who's made himself a celebrity and a star going through 2 fights with Deontay Wilder, WWF. He done put himself back into the light. They spent so much money on promoting these guys, even though it flopped. Sports fans and boxing fans have now taken notice to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So if you're Eddie Hearn, why would you want to put Dillian Whyte in there with Tyson Fury when Joshua is your #1 guy? Dillian Whyte may be your #2 guy, but Joshua is your #1 guy. That means a couple things. You appease #1 before you appease #2. #1 makes more money than #2. Therefore, more money means your percentage is more. 10% of 300,000 and 10% of 3 million are 2 different things. So this is the difference. Eddie Hearn is supposed to make a business move in all things, because Tyson Fury is also going to want the bag. Why would I want a smaller bag, even though Dillian Whyte is a nice size bag? But why would I take a smaller bag? Why would I not fight for Undisputed? We can't lay this whole Dillian Whyte saga on the feet of Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury. It's not there. They didn't do it. Fury did what he was supposed to do to get where he's at. Bob Arum followed the money, as did Frank Warren. Eddie Hearn is following the money like he's supposed to. And the last thing I'm going to say about Dillian Whyte is something I've said about Deontay Wilder. Was it Deontay Wilder I said it about? Yes, it was Deontay Wilder. Never pass up an opportunity that's bigger than you. You hear me? If Deontay Wilder loses to Tyson Fury, even if it do come full circle and him and Joshua do fight, it ain't gonna be no $100 million. It ain't gonna be no $120 million. See, this is why you don't wait. This is why you pull the trigger on big shit. This is why you always get the big, if it's a bag in front of you. And like I said, it ain't like somebody asking you to jeopardize your character or do something crazy with your life. That's not what nobody, they're asking you to do what you've been doing. To box professionally on television. But now it's just gonna be on a bigger stage. You don't turn that type of opportunity down. And that leads me to Dillian Whyte. I've said it 1,000 times on this channel. When Big Baby Orenthal, the Juice Man Miller, popped dirty, Dillian Whyte was offered a chance at Joshua. See, but he had the same plan Fury had in his mind as well. And he was trying to execute his plan. Not trying to think of the situation at hand. He had a plan. He had a plan. He was going to work his plan. And after he worked his plan, he was going to secure 50-50 with Joshua. Now look where you at now, Dillian Whyte. Now look where you at now, Dillian Whyte. You should have took the rematch. You should have took it. So, before I blame Eddie Hearn, before I blame Anthony Joshua, before I blame Tyson Fury, on the list of people who are to be blamed, I will say yes, fine. The WBC, they're number one on my list. Deontay Wilder / PBC, they're number 2 on my list. But before we get to Hearn, Joshua, and Fury, Dillian Whyte, you're on the list before those guys because you fucked up and you know you fucked up. That's why you begging and you hooping and you hollering and you praying and you want legal action and you want all that. And you got your brother out here talking about Eddie failed you and you've been done dirty. You've been done dirty, but you really haven't been done dirty by Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury has said above all else, he's going to fight Wilder, Joshua, and Whyte. I know you don't want to wait no more, but you can't ask to jump in front of the biggest payday of Fury's life. Who's going to say yes to that? You wouldn't say yes to that, Dillian Whyte. And you know you wouldn't. If the shoe was on the other foot and you was the man that beat Wilder and Fury was saying exactly what you were saying and he had been waiting exactly as long as you've been waiting. But he suffered the knockout loss to Anthony Joshua. He didn't look that great versus Rivas. If this was Fury who this happened to, not you, and you had the belt, and you was undefeated, and the fight with the biggest name in the heavyweight division was on the line if he just beat Wilder. All you had to do is beat Wilder again, Whyte, and then you get to go get the AJ bag. Would you stop and get the Fury bag? If Fury made as much money as you make? If Fury resume and record was what your resume and record was? If Fury ain't have no title, so it's not a unification, it's a voluntary or a mandatory? Would you do that? You know you wouldn't. So stop begging and stop asking other people to do it for you. You knew it was going to be a tough road back to a championship fight. And you lucked into a goddamn opportunity when Miller popped dirty. You didn't take it. Andy Ruiz took it, and because he took it, he was champion for a week, something you never were. Brock Brown, the ODTV. Take care of yourself.